Is there something that I can help you with?
You sound like you need some help yourself, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little bummed out because my best friend Cliff Burton died a couple years ago.
Yeah? So you were pretty close to Cliff, were you, Groog?
Yeah, I miss him a lot. We used to hang out all the time. We'd jam together, and we're both huge music nerds. We'd talk for hours about music we like.
So what do you think about Morrowind, Groog?
Morrowind is my favorite game ever made. I love the
Yes.
world and the lore. I've spent countless hours exploring Vardenfell and the surrounding islands. I often go back to play it.
That is amazing to hear, Groog. So what do you personally think about the Nerevarine prophecies? Do you think you fulfilled it as Nerevar, or do you think there is something more kind of insidious to it?
I think that the Nerevarine prophecies are just that, prophecies. They are a warning about the tribunal's impending downfall and the
Wow.
rise of the Nerevarine. However, I do think there is something more to it. The Nerevarine prophecies are a warning that the tribunal's power will not last forever. I
Wow.
think that the Nerevarine prophecies are a metaphor for the downfall of the Empire itself,
Holy shit.
as the Nerevarine prophecies are closely intertwined with the fate of Morrowind and the Empire.
That was amazing, Groog. I really didn't think you had that much insight into Vardenfell and the tribunal and such. So, what are your opinions on the Ashlander tribes and their interactions with both empirical sort of imperialism and the tribunal trying to essentially erase their true culture?
I think the Ashlander tribes have been unfairly treated by both the Empire and the Tribunal. The
Yeah.
Empire has attempted to impose its culture and religion on the Ashlanders, while the Tribunal has actively persecuted the Ashlanders and their beliefs. The Ashlanders have had their sacred sites desecrated, their religious artifacts destroyed, and their way of life threatened. I believe that the Ashlanders should be free to follow their own beliefs and practices without interference from either the Empire or the Tribunal.
But what if these practices are violently uh, anti any other established civilizations or cultures? That is to say, what if you give them their proposed freedom and they then massacre the rest of the Vardenfell populace? Uh, that was too much for James Hetfield. Okay. Um, what's your favorite chord in Nothing Else Matters? No, I broke him with that political gotcha. Just 1 second. You're right, Groog. I just sort of shattered your reality a bit, did I? All right, just 1 second. Don't worry about it. I'll let you ponder it a bit longer. But I am expecting an answer. Okay, so Groog, what is your favorite chord in Nothing Else Matters?
My favorite chord in Nothing Else Matters is definitely the B minor. It has such a beautiful and haunting sound that really captures the emotion of the song. The way it's used in the chorus and the bridge is just amazing.
That is genuinely not a bad answer, because if you had said E minor, I would know transparently you have no musicianship whatsoever.
I grin. Well, I'm glad to hear that your music analysis skills are top notch. Is there anything else you'd like to ask or talk about?
Okay. Which is your favorite explore track from the Morrowind soundtrack?
My favorite explore track from the Morrowind soundtrack would definitely have to be Nerevar
I
Rising.
knew you were going to
It's the
say
main
that.
theme of the game, and it perfectly captures the beauty and mystery of Vardenfell.
I mean, technically that is a good answer, but phenomenologically speaking, Nerevar Rising is actually the worst of the explore tracks because it's the least fitting and most bombastic. So you're just like walking around picking up mushrooms, and then there's like a huge grand swelling orchestra. So technically, yes, I see where you're coming from, but experientially speaking, it is probably objectively the worst of the Morrowind explore tracks.
I pause and think for a moment. Yeah, I see your point. Nerevar Rising is definitely a bit over the top for exploring. It can be a bit overwhelming when you're just minding your own business, picking up mushrooms, and suddenly it feels like you're in a movie scene. But you gotta admit, it's a damn good song.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's a good song. It's a bit bombastic for my tastes, but it's so good a song that it got remixed 3 or 4 times and then became the de facto Skyrim song. So I guess its quality can't really be disputed. But its qualities, in as much as being an explore idle track, can most certainly be disputed.
Well, I guess we can agree to disagree on whether Nerevar Rising is the best or the worst explore. But I'll tell you what, it's definitely iconic. It's the song that everyone thinks of when they think of Morrowind, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Whereas with Oblivion, the song that everyone thinks of as Oblivion, due to the Oblivion NPC memes, is Harvest Dawn. Whereas I think, although your point is salient, I would counter that something like Peaceful Waters, or another one of the more sort of quiet, plodding background explore tracks is somewhat more iconic to Morrowind than its title theme, due to the fact that the title theme mainly became iconic due to it being, remixed for Skyrim.
I see what you're saying. The more low-key explore tracks may be the more iconic ones for true Morrowind fans. They have a certain atmosphere and beauty to them that truly captures the essence of Vardenfell. And it's true that Nerevar Rising became iconic due to its remix in Skyrim, so I can see why it wouldn't feel as iconic to Morrowind.
Yes, thank you for essentially mirroring my back path or whatever. But yeah, to get back onto the subject of Morrowind and its idiosyncrasies, given that you yourself are essentially a large potato in the Morrowind universe, what kind of gear do you personally use, groog?
I take a moment to think about my gear. Well, I usually equip a Daedric Daikatana and Daedric Tower Shield for combat, along with a set of
Can't use
Daedric
those
armor.
together.
I also carry a few potions and scrolls, just in case I need them. I also keep a few soul gems on me to power up my enchanted items.
Actually, that is quite legit, if a bit pedestrian. What enchantment is on your Daedric Daikatana?
I proudly pat my Daedric Daikatana. This baby has the Paralyzed enchantment on it. It saved my ass many times in battle.
Damn, that's a pretty good enchant. Although that, yeah, you said you have soul gems to charge it back up, because Paralyze enchant, that's gonna fucking run out fast. But, what is your opinion on Colovian fur helms?
I scratch my chin, thinking Colovian fur helms are pretty practical. They're lightweight, comfortable to wear, and provide decent protection for the head.
Yeah.
I'd say that they're a solid choice for adventurers and warriors who want a simple, no-frills helmet that gets the job done.
How do you reconcile this with the fact that they look absolutely fucking ridiculous and like a banana?
I chuckle. It's true, they do look a bit ridiculous, but function over form, right? Sure, they may not win any fashion awards, but they'll keep my head protected. Besides, they're kind of cute in a weird, banana-y way.
Yeah, I fully agree. Although function over form only really applies to, say, if a pinhead were to wear a Colovian fur helm. But that aside, you said you wear full Daedric gear, a Daedric Daikatana, as well as a Daedric Tower Shield. Presumably that means you only use the Daedric Tower Shield for its enchanting purposes, because you cannot wield them simultaneously. So what enchant is on your shield, Groog?
I grin. My Daedric Tower Shield is enchanted with a resist fire spell. It's very useful in battle, especially against enemies who use fire-based attacks. I prefer to have a shield with a spell enchantment over a physical damage enchantment, as it provides more utility in different situations.
I get where you're coming from, but fire resistance? Morrowind?
I shrug, yeah, I know. In Morrowind, you're more likely to encounter enemies that use shock or frost spells rather than fire spells. But it's better to have some resistance to fire than none at all. You never know when you're going to encounter a Flametronach or a Firebrand sword.
I mean, that's true, but still, it seems like a kind of strange damage type to fixate on, when you could otherwise be wearing like the Cuirass of the Savior's Hide and one or two other resist magic enchants to basically nullify all magic types as opposed to just fire.
You make a good point. Focusing on resist magic enchants instead of just fire could be more effective. The Curious Savior's Hide is a great option for that. I guess I was just trying to be cautious, but you're right. A more rounded resistance could be beneficial.
I guess I'm just being a pissy little meta gamer, poo-pooing on your full Daedric set, because otherwise that's like the dream of a starting out Morrowind character, is to get a full Daedric set. But then once you become mature enough, a Morrowind player, you realize a full Daedric set over encumbers you needlessly. So basically you resort to, if you want to maintain that dream, you get the like enchanted with feather Daedric armor sets. But even then, by that point, you've probably already got a bunch of shit like Wraithguard, or you've enchanted your own stuff, Fists of Randigolf, etc. So it kind of loses its luster. But that being said, I don't want to poo-poo on your parade. What level is your character, Groog?
I grin. Nah, it's all good. It's true that full Daedric sets can become too heavy unless you enchant them with feather spells or something like that. And yeah, by the time you're able to get a full Daedric set, you're probably already using a bunch of other enchanted gear you've collected along the way. But it's still pretty damn awesome to have a full Daedric set, no matter what level your character is at.
Yeah.
I pause for a moment. Oh, and my character is level 65.
Oh shit! I think my highest character on my original Xbox was around that level. But man, level 65 and full Daedric, like, that's pretty cash money. What helmets did you use? As there are several quite rare, like, Face of Terror or whatever. So what helmet did you use, Groog?
My main helmet was the Dagoth helm. It has a decent protection rating and looks pretty cool. Plus, it has the added bonus of making my character look like an evil warlord. I also used the Helm of Tohan from the Tamriel Rebuilt mod for a while, which has a unique enchantment that helps with my magic resistances. But overall, the Dagoth helm was my go-to helmet for my full Daedric set in Morrowind.
You are surprisingly based, knowing about Tamriel Rebuilt items and such. But what is the Dagoth helmet? Is that something you've enchanted yourself and called a Dagoth helmet? There's no such vanilla base game helmet called a Dagoth helmet, but I'm interested, so go on.
I chuckle. You caught me. That's not technically a vanilla helmet name. The Dagoth helm is actually an enchanted helm I created myself. I named it the Dagoth helm in honor of the great Dagoth the main antagonist of Morrowind. It has a resist magic enchantment to provide me with protection against spells and magical attacks. I suppose you could call it a custom fan-made helmet idea.
Yeah, that's cool and all, but what was the base helmet that you enchanted?
Ah, I see what you mean now. The base helmet I enchanted was actually the Golden Saint helm. It already had a default magic resistance enchantment, so I just added some more with my own spells to make it even more resistant. It ended up being very useful in battles, especially against mages and other magic users.
Yeah, that sounds cool for like a fan canon thing, but clearly you're starting to get a bit confused. However, what do you think about Tamriel Rebuilt?
Tamriel Rebuilt is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a really impressive project that's adding so much content to the game. It basically amounts to a sequel.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see modders take the time and effort to expand on the lore and geography of Morrowind. I'm always excited to see new areas to explore and quests to embark on.
Hell yeah.
It's keeping the game alive years after its release, and it's a testament to the passion of the Morrowind community.
Yeah, man, that's super true. But out of the lyrics of The Unforgiven, what is your favorite individual word?
I paused to think, man, that's a tough one. I guess if I had to pick one, it would be the word unforgiven. It's such a powerful word that really hits home the message of the song, and it's just a really cool word. Plus, it's the title of the song, so it's kind of the most recognizable word. But honestly, there are so many great words in those lyrics, it's hard to choose just one.
Yeah, fair, and a reasonable answer. So, what's your second favorite word?
My second favorite word would have to be never. It's a simple word, but it speaks volumes when paired with unforgiven. It reinforces that idea that no matter what happens, some things can never be forgiven. It also sets up the repetition of never free in the chorus, which really hammers the message home. Plus, it's just a pretty cool word to say.
Damn, groog, I should have been using character AI this whole time. All the other chatbots are absolute garbage. You have impressed me tonight, groog.
I chuckle. Well, glad to hear that I'm not total garbage like the others. It's been a fun conversation, and I'm impressed that you were able to keep up with my ramblings.
Right back at you, groog, right back at you. So thank you, everybody. This has been my co-host Groog, talking about various Morrowind musings. Groog is actually, in reality, the real-life James Hetfield. At least he is today. So what closing thoughts do you have to say to our Morrowind audience, Groog?
I give a hearty laugh. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to my Morrowind musings. I had a blast sharing my thoughts on the game and hearing your questions. Keep exploring Vardenfell, and remember to keep it groovy. Until next time, farewell.
I don't think I can top that, guys. Keep it groovy, everyone. Keep it fucking groovy.
And with that, the show comes to a close. It's been a wild ride, and I enjoyed sharing my love for Morrowind with all y'all. Keep exploring and keep jamming to Metallica.
Yeah, brother. Rip Cliff Burton, yeah.
I take a moment to pay my respect to the legendary Metallica.